All right. Hello, everybody. Got the gameplay going here. We're going to work on this better deck, better the beater. It's all based around this guy, Kindle. We're going to do a couple test games with this and then figure out what we can do to change this because I don't like it in its current form. We're going to do something we don't normally do. We're going to actually do some play. Let's see how it does just on its own. I know we've played this one a couple times before. We really like the skirmish rhino. The downside here is you can't really ramp with the elf. Oof, another temple garden. Not good to have 3 of those. Need to find our black mana. Oh, we forgot to drop our elf. Well, worked out okay anyways. Could have got our talent down. Their show off going. Okay. Void going. We can get our rhino down. This is a good card to get the tokens on from the Boroid. We're going to take us out pretty quickly here, I think. Might as well try to block it. He'll kill the rhino, I think. Yep. Ooh, if we'd kept the rhino, we could have actually doubled up. Deck just feels slow. Feels like it needs board wipes. Wonder if we just focus around the trample. Let's try to get this down and kill off the trophy. They show off. We'll attack in first. See if they let this go through. Ah, spell pierce. I wonder why it took them so long to spell pierce that. Got 3 mana. Yep. They are down to 10. That is something to be said. We do have trample on our one creature. We might just double up the talents here. I guess we don't have enough mana for that. They kept us down. Oh, they got us. GG. Wonder if we change out. I want to kind of revamp that deck completely. All right, where did I have it? Zero life drain. Got it right up here, I believe. Didn't go right up top, did it? No. Here. There we go. Let's duplicate it. I'm wondering if we change this to more of a trample deck. What else do we... Be a little more aggressive. I think we're just going to drop the beater altogether. Frog, rabbit, or raccoon. Hey, seems legit. How's it going? Airbender Ascension? What would you be airbending in this situation? Lumbering wagon? Kenai. Hey, Nacho, how's it going? I guess it's a little harder to turn on Kenai. Hey, Steampunk, how's it going? Good seeing you. It's going pretty good, Nacho. Trying to get a shorter stream in, a couple hours at least. Let's see what else we got here for trample. Can give stuff trample with that. And it is a trample itself for 3/2. The whole idea is I'm trying to work with practice offense because it works really good with trample creatures. I'm thinking we might just cut the rhino. I love the rhino, but let's try getting this a little bit cheaper. I think we might just cut the Kenai because they're not trample right off the bat. Put Put that in the sideboard. As a possible. To blink the Rhino? Yeah. I mean, it gets you the 2 life and 2 damage. The problem is if we're relying on counters in this deck, we don't want the counters to go away. So blinking is not the greatest in that situation. There's no trample in white too much, is there? Unflinching Courage is always fun. We can do Seam Rip and Gear Hulk. We're getting kind of near the rabbit deck, I guess, by doing that, but that's for allies. This isn't too bad. Some card draw with that. I think we just get rid of the black altogether. I do like Scrap Shooter for that, but maybe we just try it without. Forgot your dailies? Oh no. Still struggling, Nacho, huh? Well, I will tell you, the 2 decks, we'll just call this Trample. I'll show you the 2 decks that I've been playing that I went all the way through. I went from Plat 3 all the way to top 1500 with since yesterday. Let's go. Oh, we gotta release this. So the first one is the Cottontail Carnage. I was playing that last night. This is the one that that just kicked butt, and this worked really well. This got me all the way to Mythic, playing this deck, and then once I got to Mythic, I actually switched over to this deck because I was filming a video for it. I did show this off last night, and then I changed out quite a bit of stuff on it. I shouldn't say quite a bit. I changed out a couple of the enchantments and stuff to kind of put in this push, which is a really good card in a deck like this to get a lot of damage in, and I also threw in some an Outrageous Robbery. And this deck actually hummed pretty good. I was a little bit surprised how well it did in the Mythic level, and I ended up getting to top 1500 with this deck, which was awesome. Gruul be better for Trample? It could be, but the biggest card is Practiced Offense. This is such a beater in Trample. Being able to give something double strike +1/+1 on your whole team basically makes almost all their blocks just terrible in that situation. So that's the reason for why we are doing white in this deck. The only removal we have is Hunter's Talent. We could get rid of 2 of these and do like Get Lost. This might even be a little too cute for it, but it is kind of card draw. Yeah, skeletons. Skeletons could do it. I guess we don't really need to ramp. Let's look back at what we got here for trample. Frog, rabbit, raccoon. We got the rabbits. That ain't gonna quite do it. What we could do... beast. Yeah, we could reduce the land count if we're keeping it low. We gotta change out the lands too, but we were doing 24 lands. Boroid would be the top end. I shouldn't say Boroid would be the top end. Really, you kind of want 5 to be your top end, so you can do a practice offense into the flashback. Yeah, you can add red to it and just do Naya. Is there any good cheap trample creatures? No 1-drops that I'd want to add. Nothing amazing that I want to add. I don't know if we benefit that much. Overprotect. Oh, we gotta turn on green. Well, most of the creatures already have trample, so I'm not worried about giving them trample. That's kind of why I'm running what I'm running here. Let's go to our lands. Let's just fix this up a little bit, just so we don't forget about it. Prairie's going to be too slow, probably. Our Temple Gardens. Garden of Verges. Man, I guess we don't really have anything great for land. Maybe we do use the prairies. Because other creatures get the plus. Get rid of the citadels. We could put one of those in. And 18, 20, yeah, we got 24 there. We could probably cut a land. Starting town? Starting town would be good. I actually like starting town better than multiverse. Let's do... for... $22? Is that a little greedy? Might make it tough to get to. I mean, we do have the elf as well. Oh, yeah, the revive. Geez, what is it called? Return. It's a forecasting cost card. Raise the past. We don't have Cub in the deck right now. We have to cut 6. I might just cut the Diadrine. What should I do with the elves themes? What do you think? Yeah. Just trying to figure out what you're getting at. I kind of want to keep it low to the ground. Kind of want to try to keep this to be the top end. I don't want to get too many raise the past in there. So I gotta cut some here. I'm wondering if we just start cutting some innkeepers. If we're, because practice talent is just kind of straight up better than innkeepers. Do we just give this a whirl? Let's give it a run. All right, let's play it. Doing the play queue. I haven't done the play queue in a long time. Two innkeeper max, yeah. I pulled them all out in this one. We'll see if we want them. Interesting hand. Keep it. We can get an early elf down here. Get into a... We can just get in for 4 damage right away if we want to. Let's be super aggressive here. I'm gonna just go off of the practice offenses here. Do the starting town. Practice offense. We'll go to us. We'll give this one double strike. He's probably gonna block it. one. Now we can do the mentor with him practice offense. This does have trample, so that's the whole benefit of it. Let's go for the mentor. To us, give that double strike. Yep. Some damage in. Down to 5. And then we got another practice offense here. If we get an untapped land, we'll be really set. Yeah. See, it doesn't matter with all the trample that we have. It doesn't even matter that they have creatures. Worked out really well. Steampunk. I was wondering what the win rate was on your amazing Demonic Dragons deck you released. I think initially on the video, I want to say I had like 70-some%, if I remember right. It did go down to around 60% when I played it a little bit more. But still, I had a pretty good win rate. I was wondering if you kept track. It looked very fun, but I don't have very many wild cards. I wouldn't recommend that one if you're focusing on winning. I think there's better decks. If your only goal is a ladder, then I think there's better decks for you to do. But it's a fun one, and you can have a plus. You can be over 50% win rate with a deck like that. And the big thing on that is when I do say that you can be over 50%, that's with a I don't know your skill level or anything like that. So capable piloting the deck, you can reasonably expect to be over 50%, but at the end of the day, you never know what decks you're going to face or anything like that. You can have pockets that you play bad. You easily can, over to the course of 10 games, can easily only win 20% of your games, or you can go 9-1. It all depends on what you're playing against, too, in a lot of those situations. Best of one is really tough when it comes down to that. Play queue is Wild West, yep. All right, let's play this again. I just want to give another feel for it. Yeah, the capable pilot thing. So I am by no means an amazing Magic player or anything. I've played it a lot. I do make a lot of mistakes and stuff too because I play a little sloppy. I'll be the first to admit that. But the big thing is for the decks, if you do play, right, almost most of the decks that are out there, you'll do really good with. I mean, you're going to have, typically above a 50% rate with most of the decks that are out there. The big thing is, even the best decks out there, when you put them in the hands of everybody, the win rate tends to drop below 60%, no matter what. Even if it's the best deck in the format, you're not going to have above a 60% win rate on those decks when it's in the hands of a lot of people. So when you're looking at data, you got to remember that. We'll keep this one. This will be kind of interesting. We can kind of go heavy on the Bristlebane here. Yeah, you absolutely could hit Mythic really quickly with something that you know, you average 2 to 3 minutes a game, and then you can crank out a bunch of games. You can absolutely get there, especially if you don't lose many games. But the same thing can be said if you just end up playing against, you know, life gain decks, and you're not gonna have that same luck. All depends on what you face. Best of one is kind of a wild thing. So these are nice because these do have Ward 2, so it's going to be a little harder for them to go after them. We can drop a Paw Patch Recruit next turn too to make it even better. Yeah, we'll take 2. Let's do... Get that out too. Back in. Hopefully we get a land. We could double cast creatures. It can go after our Paw Patch, but we just put the counter then on another creature. We'll let that go through. We're going to take some damage here from him pumping it up. Okay, so he's going after that one, which means we're going to pump up this one. Pump up that again. Alright. Didn't get our untapped land, unfortunately. That's okay. They didn't kill our other creatures, so these guys get pretty big. Now they're in trouble. So can they win this turn? They absolutely can if they have the right combination of cards. Alchemist is kind of interesting. So, like, next turn, I could actually double cast that to get the... Or I can plot it, I should say. Plot both those to give... GG. This deck's actually doing pretty good. He did forget about the ward on that one. Those things are very strong cards. And the neat thing about them is people were playing them in the ally deck. And I think people forget that they trigger from any creature, not just allies, which makes them really good in other decks. I didn't think about this, but we could add Shelter from Ghost in here too for removal instead of 2 of the Get Lost, maybe? Yeah, you kind of need to find sweepers for a lot of stuff like this. Kithkin is a Kithkin, not an ally, correct? Chunky, by the way, how's it going? I was reading what you were saying before, but I didn't see that was the first time we chatted, so it's good seeing you tonight. Brent, it's good seeing you too. How's it going? No rares for the 1 and 2 drop? Yeah. Alright, let's try this one. We can get an early Paw Patch into maybe a Mentor. Into the Boroid. We could also plot... You know what? We can plot the Alchemist into the Boroid on turn 3. We can do the Mentor. Oh, and we gotta practice offense. We're gonna do the Mentor. We're gonna plot the Alchemist. And hopefully we get an untapped land. Okay, they're gonna make us discard our Boroid. That if they make us do the Boroid, okay, then we'll just go here. That's not bad either. We can get that down. Ooh, I played in the wrong order. Three in. We do have to be conscious that there's going to be a sweeper coming. We can do +1 for everything. Otherwise, I think we just go... Let's do this. And we'll target... this so we can actually get in. I should have probably targeted the recruit. We'll double strike it. And we'll attack. We'll just attack with those. I should have done the recruit. That way we could have got it. Alright, they're going to do a sweep here, I think, coming up. Probably turn 5. Oh, never mind. They got one right there, which is fine. That's unfortunate that I had a tap land. Get in for 3. We can do another Baloth next turn and then practice offense. We haven't found our revival yet, which would be fun. Okay, we gotta get lost here. So let's get this out. We're gonna get lost there so they don't gain life. Hopefully they don't have another sweep. They do have a Boroid up there. The one that they stole. Another sweep. And then we find land. That's the untapped land that we needed last time. Starting town. Man, sometimes that card really frustrates me. There's the Boroid. Yeah, they can make it massive now. We don't have a good way to get rid of it either. That's the unfortunate thing. Starting town can be good in decks when you don't need much mana. But man, it can do some funky stuff, especially with the auto tapper. You really got to watch it. But yeah, in situations like this, it just kind of hosed us over. But we have also the Prairie that could have hosed us. This game probably would have done or went a different way. I'd have to look back at it, but we would add the untapped. Ooh. Unfortunately, we don't have one more mana to do that. Guess we can block out here, and then... it has trample, never mind. They both have trample. Yeah, I don't got enough. These are 7/7s, though. I have to destroy a creature? Or what is he going after? He's going after one of those. What is he going after? The other one? All right. We don't have enough to stop this from happening. Bummer. How do I get early access? Hey, Neil, how's it going? You know, the early access thing, I've reached out to Wizards before, and I cannot get a hold of them. They don't make it very easy for you to get a hold of them for the early access. They do have a team that works with the MTGO community, which has a way to reach out to, and I've even tried reaching out to them, and they haven't returned anything, so not really sure, to be honest with you, how I would get early access for that. I've tried it, but unfortunately, I haven't got any yet. From what I understand, I should be able to qualify for it. Hey, DPO, how's it going? Looking back, Nacho said I replaced the town with the card from the Spider-Man set. Is the same but better. I'll have to look which one you're talking about. All right, we've got some interesting stuff here, and we can get a Boroid down possibly early. We also have Raise the Past, but ain't gonna matter too much with this hand. We'll keep it. Only have starting town for green mana. And then into the elf, that is. Oh, Hillbilly got it? That's awesome. We'll get the Alchemist down, I think. I should have plotted that because we could have put it down on Boroid. Actually, it's when it becomes plotted. So it doesn't work the way I was thinking the other game. I'll have to ask Hillbilly when he's in here next time. Maybe he can help me out. Get our Boroid down here. Oh, jeez. I picked the wrong card. I meant Boroid. I'm reading the chat, and I'm not even paying attention to which card I'm selecting. Asking Swayze? That'd be cool if you could. Boroid. Gonna give this one more play, and then I think we might swap out a couple cards. I do kind of want to run a couple shelters, I think. Yeah, I did kind of chuckle when I was in one of his videos. Kind of wish it wasn't the video where he was calling out people, but it is what it is, right? Yeah. No. Raise the pass wasn't a flex. It was just a terrible play. That's what that was. We'll get Paw Patch. Oh. Yeah, but we also have ward creatures. So what would be neat is you can actually throw that on the other ward creature, and now it has ward 4, which is pretty crazy. I think we do this into the Baloth. And then we'll get the Prairie down next turn. And hope we get another mana. Yeah, I'm not all about the drama in Magic, so that's why I was kind of like, it's unfortunate that my name got, even though it got brought up in a positive light in the video, I wasn't exactly thrilled to be part of that video. But it is what it is, you know? He can do whatever he wants. Yeah, I don't like how they do Ward 4, because it shows Ward 2 and then Ward 2. I mean, which makes sense, but I just don't really care for the way they do it. Didn't get our land, so we can't get Borade down. I think we're actually going to do double Paw. Well, let's just do Paw Patch. I want Elf, though. So let's just do it this way. Not really super efficient, especially if, well, you know what? There can be a sweeper here. I should have done that turn differently with anticipation of them being on 5 mana next turn. There's a sweeper. Practice offense. Let's just get this down. He's built for drama. He's a lawyer. There's something said about that, I guess. Does anybody know what kind of lawyer he is? Does he do corporate law? We sacrifice. Wither Bloom. Man, now we can't find our land. He's a litigator. Okay. Yeah, I like to kind of focus on the more positive side of Magic. You know, I'm big into trying to help other creators. You know, there's a lot of great people out there. Baji is a fantastic creator. Baji MTG. JA is another really good creator. I like Swayze's stuff. You know, it's the big whole, you know, a rising tide raises all ships kind of thing. That's I'm big into the belief of that. They got a full grip of cards. I expect them. I mean, look at what they're doing to us here. Basically, 5 removal to 6 removal.
My job is to teach. Yours is to learn. You're dismissed.
I don't really watch a lot of his videos. Talk about Mike's. I do like taking a look at his decks every once in a while, but I don't watch his videos too often.
I can heal you.
Like I said, I kind of stay away from the drama stuff. I think we're pretty hosed this game. I'll try getting some things out here. Getting the practice offense. They just have too many cards at this point. This is where Shelter would kind of be good, but they have too many lands that would matter. We'll just move on. Let's adjust the deck a little bit. All right, let's look at this a little bit. I think we want to add Shelter. Shelter's going to be a good way to protect some stuff for a little bit. I think we... Anything else that we were looking at possibly changing? Let's go with... There's that one land you mentioned. I want to look at which one you were referencing. Talking about the multiversal passage instead of starting town. Let's try that. Hey, Neil. Thank you very much. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Really appreciate that. Thank you for helping out the channel. Helping me try to afford the next set. Got Hillbilly in there. Rodrigo. Durkanka. DPO. Awesome. Thank you. What goes first on this one? Yeah, I think this next set's gonna get expensive. It's I didn't look at what the final count was, but I think this is a big set. Like, I mean, like a lot of rares, which usually means it's gonna be like a $300 set for me. Start with our elf. How much money do people spend on a new set? So, do not listen to what I do by any means, because I create content. But for me, for a big set like this, it's gonna be typically in the close to $300 range. So $250 to $300 is what I typically spend trying to get, and that gets me, like I would say 80% there, and then through playing and using wild cards, I'll get whatever I need to build the decks I need to. And let's get this out, and we can get a mentor down. Now we should probably have done a paw patch. Let's do this one right away, just so we can start getting pluses if they try to go after anything. Plus, if we get a land, we can go for the Warroid then. Oh, blown out. Tapped. Your mentor out. Lots of legends. Well, legends don't matter. It's how many mythics is the big thing. But you can get mythic packs to help you out with that. 4 right down. I sense removal coming. Yeah, I think most people can get by with $100, and then obviously getting the play pass helps out quite a bit. And like Neil said, purchasing the commons and uncommons also helps you get your treasure chest faster. Or your vault, I should say. Yeah, they got us. I do not recommend anybody completing sets or anything like that unless you absolutely need it for like content creation. There's no point to even try to do that. Strictly go for the cards that you need. Don't worry about trying to complete sets by any means. It's pointless to do. Yeah, for more removal in hand, I think. Ah, they got us with that one. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about completing sets by any means. The other thing is, if you like limited, you can get away with rare drafting and tend to get a lot more rares if you can play decent. I'll say you don't even have to be amazing. If you can play like 50% in drafts, you're better off drafting than you are opening packs, at least initially, because you'll get quite a few rares by doing that, just rare drafting. And that's how I used to do it before I did content. I used to just do rare drafting of drafts to start out the set, and then moved on from that to just opening packs with the daily coins and everything. I was mostly a free to play player for the most part. Occasionally, I would throw like $50 in every couple months, but that's about it. I couldn't create every deck by any means, but that was the way I kept it manageable. You completed Avatar, just get the achievement. That's why they put those achievements in there. There's a reason why they did that. Ooh. Rough go that we don't have untapped lands. Oh, misplayed that one. Didn't see us draw that. Hard pass on draft if you don't know what you're doing, or a veteran. Is a suicide black hole of money. It all depends on how you're looking at it, because compared to opening packs, early on rare drafting, you can usually get like 11 to 12 rares by doing a draft. So if you compare that to just purchasing packs with your same coins, it's actually worth it. And that's even if you don't win a single draft game in that kind of situation. Blowing us out. Let's go green. We'll pay 2 life. Let's get this down. Follow with the paw patch. Oh, I should have dropped the elf so we could get the boar right down next turn. Focusing on chat here. Yeah, you actually get more cards by doing draft, but they're all common, so it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah. We don't have a way to get rid of that. I'm gonna play Ugin's Homework here. Let's quick look at the deck for the chat. This is one that I'll be in the video tomorrow. So this is a change up of a deck I was testing out. And the whole idea is we got Tablet of Discovery. And it works by giving 2 mana for instant and sorcery spells. Almost everything in the deck is an instant and sorcery. The only cards that we don't have that are instants or sorceries is the core, Ugin, and Unholy Annex. Otherwise, everything else other than land is an instant or sorcery. Even the enchantments and creatures have instant or sorceries on them, which is really nice. But the whole idea is we're trying to get the capstone down. And what's neat with the capstone is you get to cast cards for free. That's a value 4 or greater, which means you can actually cast the second part of a lot of these spells. Like you can cast the pull, you can cast the Virtue of Persistence, you can cast the Ugin. And I shouldn't say it's 4 or greater. It's exiling cards till it's 4 or greater. So if they find something lower, they'll keep exiling cards. You can be able to cast multiple. But you're kind of trying to find like an Ugin, a Chamber, the Virtue of Persistence. Even the pull is pretty good because of you killing off all your opponent's stuff. So we'll try this out. This is actually in the video for tomorrow. It worked really well for me. I would actually love to do a draft series. The issue is my audience does not like draft. I've tried mixing up the content on the channel before, and the views just plummet, which is unfortunate. Best of 1 standard draft or standard play is what people seem to resonate with quite a bit. Let's try this one. We'll actually start with that so we don't show that we have red. Nutrient block. It's gonna be hard to get rid of. Weapons manufacturing. Oh, we're already getting caught with no land. You got in the Discord? I have to look at the Discord here. Brent, your deck, that is. Okay, resolve. I'll have to try the Neil's deck out too. All right, weapons. Nutrient block. Let's go for black. Actually, we can do red. We'll do this first, try to find land from their deck. Plus, then we can, if we don't draw a land, okay, we can Tablet of Discovery to get our own. Chandra is pretty good.
You win, and I'm a winner. Just a quick pit stop. No breaking till the end.
Oh, that's the one, Bren's deck? Okay. That's the academic Mikey counters one. We'll do Tableau of Discovery first. Man, we are not doing good with our land.
Let's shift gears.
We are a land away from capstoning if we want to do that. Which can get rid of this Chandra. Oof.
Go, go, go.
Yeah, we're pretty much dead here. I mean, we got a sweeper. It does damage to us. It's cover 3. Oh, yeah. We're just dead. That's what happens when you draw your land late. Maybe I do drafts on stream if people would be interested in that. That might be something people would have fun with. I don't think regular videos, though. Hey, Deep Fried. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't stream that often, so you're not missing a ton by doing that. Appreciate the kind words. Dan the Man, how's it going? We got land here, so we'll keep this. Got removal. We'll do this for red. We'll enter tapped. To be fair, I haven't drafted in quite a while. Pretty much since I started dreaming, I kind of just have been doing regular content. I think I've done 1 or 2 drafts since then. It's been a long time. Let's Bitter Triumph, I think, to get rid of the Weaver. We'll pay 3 for that. We don't want him to ramp out too quickly here. If they Borroid, no, not a Weaver. We need to get up to our Wrath is really what we need to do here. Innkeeper's down, okay. Let's get Decadent. Ooh, we got their Borroid. And their Tyvar. Well, our Villainous Wrath is going to be really good next turn. Or not next turn, 2 turns from now. But we're going to be taking a lot of damage in the meantime. We got lucky that they kind of pumped everything. We could just get the Dragon down for a blocker. I think that's a good call. The soundboard stuff, yeah. That's always kind of interesting. Do it now, Dance Monkey! We will block here, because we're going to do the sweep here. This down, we'll gain some life. Or actually, we don't gain life, we lose life. And we're still 2 turns away from getting an Ugin. Get a land down. It's a 6/6. Ugh. We can do... We could throw up a blocker. I think we just have to kill it, right? Let's do this. We can get rid of all its forests this way. Hey, you think we will ever see your mug? Was it a decent to do it off camera? Or a decision to do it off camera? It kind of was, but not like crazy. A lot of it was for work reasons. I am a manager where I work, and trying to keep the 2 things private because I interact with a lot of customers and stuff like that as well. Do that. But that was my main reason for doing it that way. It's no real secret other than that. There's no reason to be too secretive about it. Let's see here. They got their speaker. We didn't get our land, unfortunately. We don't have green to cast that stuff. We can get our chamber down. And then we could start gaining life. Oh, he's gonna kill it. We need an untapped land so that we can start killing his stuff off. Well, we have to block that, unfortunately. Oh, not great. So we're gonna have to do 2 damage to ourselves and then gain 3 life. We'll go... Oh, shoot, that is Ward 1. Never mind, they got us. I don't think there was a way around that one. You know you're dehydrated when you drink 5 beers and don't have to be... Yeah, that is true. You sound like you're from my state, Brent. All right, let's go. I'll keep this one. There is enough stuff online to identify me with it, so that is part of the issue too. I'm not a felon or anything, so I don't really worry about it. I've actually looked up changing my name, and it sounds like it's a really hard thing to do, actually, even through contacting support. That's why I never actually changed my name to Mulligan Menace. We'll do this. We'll hold off on the Tablet of Discovery just in case we can draw land off of it or something next turn. Very well could be D.B. Cooper. Not that old, but sounds good. Yeah, maybe we should have dropped it last turn. Oh well. Yeah, I suppose, Brent, you are in a lot of videos. We'll do black and tapped. We could have turned on vent and tacked in. But I don't want the land to die. And yet untap land. Hey, Brent, what kind of stuff do you weld? Just kind of curious. My brother's a welder. I should say used to. Well, he still does weld, but he's more... He now manages a fab shop. Red tapped. I have to think they're holding up a counter, but I could be wrong. Do you do just normal fab work, or do you do anything special with like aluminum welding or TIG or anything like that? Get the tablet down. We will cast this just because we can. And get rid of that. See if they counter it. They do. Aluminum wheels. Anything people bring in. That's cool. Job shop. Yeah. Let's try getting this out. See if we get a counter spell. Oh, they let it hit. They're going to start taking damage, but we'll draw a card, so that's good. Yeah, the world needs welders, man. They're in short supply right now, from what I understand. We're allowing them to be in the game longer than I would like to, but... Okay. We did get a land. Let's just get this out while it feels like the coast is clear.
Declaration. I grant you. I will win. My plan bears fruit.
Okay. They're gonna make us discard our Rugen. We got a handful of good stuff. They just noticed that. uh, oh, done the wrong thing. Body and paint. Yeah, it's expensive to get body work done. You're in Texas. How do you have rusty floorboards? Doesn't everything stay good? Or are you near the coast? That's what I hate about where we live is if you have a car that's 10 years old, the undercarriage is going to be so rusted out. We should just have them sack this so it slows them down. So that we can get up to our wrath before they get too established. You're in Canada, Chunky? That's cool. Let's get this into this. Baji MTG is actually out of Canada. We can do that. We're not going to attack in. They were just missing land, weren't they? Uncle started a body shop. Within 20 years, he owned like 10 cars and 5 houses. You know, people always get in accidents, so it's not a surprise that he does or that he has a lot of work. Especially if you can do like dent repair and stuff, especially with like hailstorms, you can make some pretty good bank. Making bank owning the shop, not necessarily being the person. Although I heard if you're really good at dent repair, you can kind of travel around and make a good amount of money doing that too. We go first. Ooh, what are we playing against here? A zombie deck? Interesting. Cavern, what is he going to go after? Probably Unholy Annex. Okay, to weld inside a new boat. Live weld bracket bulk. One climbing in upside down and welding with no hood. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. We can kill something that's tapped, so that'll be good. Let's just do this. We'll put that into play tapped. We're going to pass the turn. Car is mostly finished, but I have another project that I have new floorboards, or just need to get them welded in. Yeah. We need to find a sweeper here. Do red. That into play tapped. We're actually going to kill the bats. He gets another bat out. Who needs eyes? The classic blind umpire. Oh man, we're just not finding what we need. We'll have to get our dragon down and hope he doesn't have removal. That way we can start blocking. And it's a straight up zombie deck. They're getting us with it too. Well, this isn't gonna do it either. Don't have enough mana to cast it. Just one off, unfortunately. GG. Cars are a very expensive hobby. I have a guy I work with, he races as well. That's another really expensive hobby. Doing even local racing. We have a handful of racetracks around our state that people race at. Definitely is a money pit in that situation because I guarantee the winning cars don't even make enough money to pay off what it costs to race. Yeah, we'll try this one. We got the pyroplasms. Get this down first. We'll get a black going. We're unfortunately playing against the blue deck. This deck is going to do terrible against. It's not bad. Better than straight blue. Probably Decadent next turn. Yeah, racing equals breaking stuff all the time. Yeah, it's a constant money pit, man. Ooh. Hold on. I can't. Oh, I can kill that. Let's do that. Yes, I'm sure. Okay. Let's get our tapped land down. Check it in. Got their capstone. Ooh. We can sweep this next turn, but we already have 2, unfortunately. We're going to go after their stallions. Well, they can kill a lot of creatures. Triumph. Let's get our dragon down, and we have Triumph up. Yep. I always wanted to get into cars. Like, I've always enjoyed cars and car content and stuff like that, but man, I just never could justify spending the money on them. You have Grand National? That's awesome. My uncle had a Grand National. Let's get the mountain down and we can do our capstone. Hopefully we can find an Ugin off of it. Look at that. And we might as well cast that too.
Heed my counsel.
Start gaining some life so we don't just die off the rip.
Wisdom guides you.
We could turn the game here.
Focus. Breathe. And
I think we just decline that. Feels weird, but do this. Kind of want to hold on to the Bitter Triumph. Let's plus life here. Got another capstone.
open your mind to possibility.
We're going to be casting tons of capstones here. Oop. Let's go after... We can go after their deck. I think that's more important. Get the dragon down. Let's just do another plus here.
Focus. Breathe.
Do a tablet discovery. Well, that seems pretty good too. Get the core down. Some at 0.
One step in
And
strategy.
we want to hold up removal, so we're just going to go. I suppose we can do this. But that's an instant, so we can hold on to it. Alright, GG. Kind of curious, with you guys being into car stuff, do you guys watch any of Cletus McFarlane content? Just curious what his reach is and who he's all hitting for demographics. Get that down tapped. We do have removal next turn if we wanted. Alright, we don't have to worry about it. We do have the core annex combo in our hand, which is nice. You love listening to his spotter? He has one spotter that's really good, and then the other spotter is, we'll say questionable. Never heard of him, huh? He's a YouTuber. He makes car content. He ended up buying a racetrack down in Florida called the Freedom Factory. He named it, and he just does a whole bunch of different car content. And he ended up getting to the point. He's a very good overall driver because he also pilots planes, flies helicopter. Also does. He did boat racing, jet boat racing, things like that. But he actually became a NASCAR driver recently, part-time. Yeah, the Arca Spotter is fun to listen to. You gonna braid this or something? All right. Pursue the past. Yeah, the jet boat stuff was kind of nuts. Let's see here. They pitched a capstone. We'll get our unholy down. I think we want to keep our bitter triumph up. We also have the outrageous robbery if we can get Ugin's really good here. 4, 5. We're 2 land away from Ugining. We're gonna Decadent next turn, I think. He just has a lot of good content on YouTube. I actually really enjoy his channel. He's one of those that I actually look forward to seeing new videos for. I'm very much a person that doesn't really watch TV, but I'll watch YouTube. Second Dragon, try to find some land. Oh, we got a Shattered Sanctum. And Seize the Spoils. You know, we're going to do this just because we can get the Ugin down next turn. We can discard a card. Let's discard the Pyroclasm. It's actually pretty good, for the most part. Yeah, his house build was kind of interesting. Yeah, Biffle trying to qualify in the jet boat. Yeah, he ended up driving that up on land, didn't he? Ooh. Gets rid of our annex. Alright, well we can... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's just get this down. We'll get this out so we can destroy the Tablet of Discovery. And we're actually gonna do this to get the core out so that we can get rid of his other tablet. That shuts him down from doing another Jeskai. And then we can actually... we don't have enough in our grave. We might just steal from him. Ooh, he's gonna... Oh, he had a capstone. Oh, he already cast a capstone. I guess I missed that.
This is an unfortunate fate.
Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, pass. My turn. They don't have creatures. I would love to do Deadly Cover up here. We only have that in our yard, so we'd have to, like... we don't have enough to cast everything, do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 4 other land. Too bad we can't get that out. Let's get a very expensive outrageous robbery. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do that for 8. And get rid of their yard. They can cast a lot of stuff there. We didn't have a very good one hit on that. It was a lot of lands. We can copy spells. Yeah, they got us. Attack with the core? Yeah, I could have done that. That Paradigm was just a backbreaker. I was one turn too late to get rid of his stuff to stop him from casting that. We'll try this deck one more time and then switch it up to something else. When is pre-release for Marvel in stores? Is that next week, Friday? I think it is. We go first. We keep it. We have our core Annex, Virtue, Strategic. Got quite a bit of removal here, so that's good. I've got to make it to one of these pre-releases. It's been a while since I've been to one. All right, Lord. Steampunk, have a good one. Thanks for visiting. And have a fantastic night. We'll catch you later. Let's do red tapped. They're going to go after our Annex, I think. Yep. It's a shame if we draw another one. Dark Knight. I think we're okay with that coming in. We'll just get this down right away. God damn, we just drew unlimited annexes here. Watched a Power Dragon video. Said the paper got delayed. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Brent. Paper got delayed. We can do this to try to find land. And we can still do... Oh, we didn't... do this to try to find land. At least we are able to cast it off of that. That's kind of the whole point of it. Man, we are not getting too lucky there. So off of 4 draws there, we didn't get any land. Oh, you won a game at pre-release? That was your first ever? Oh, the cards getting to stores got delayed. That seems kind of crazy. We're going to want to start thinking about getting rid of this knight. We can do... Well, we can actually get this out. And a Virtue. Okay. We gain life off of that. Gain life. Got a tap land. They don't know what we have here, which is good. Why was Power Dragon saying that they're not going to have pre-release now because the cards were delayed, or is it just that they didn't arrive as early as people are expecting? Oh, they forced a discard. Fireclasm. Let's go with. Should we do like a beseech? We can beseech for a robbery. That might be kind of funny. Let's just get the dragon down. See if they have a removal for the last card. Oodles of deadly cover-ups. They might just turn on their sanctuary. Nope. Alright, let's turn on this. Should have attacked him first, but that's okay. Gonna be limited. Yeah, I think the local store here makes you pre-register to guarantee that you get a spot. It's usually pretty limited to start with. Sometimes, I should say. Not all the time. I think the biggest is if they have like specific color pairings and stuff. That's when you really have to reserve it. It's been a while since I've been to a pre-release. I used to hit every pre-release. Midnight, they used to do them, and I'm not sure how your local stores do them now, but I noticed that local stores now start the pre-release at like 7 a.m. or I mean, sorry, 7 p.m. on a Friday, whereas previously all the pre-releases started at midnight on a Friday night. So everyone's playing Magic till 4 in the morning. But they usually have like 4 or 5 pre-releases over the weekend. Let's keep this one. Got the Annex and Core. Does anybody have good pre-release stories? I've been to some interesting ones. Tap land down. So I'll tell a good story. It was kind of interesting. So, oh man, they're kind of going ham here. Should have paid the other one because it was Fireclasm here. All right. So in my town that I used to live in, it was actually a pretty big Magic. I mean, for being the size of the city that I was in, it was surprising how popular Magic was. And this actually goes back way back in the day, where it actually had one of the biggest stores in the state for Magic. And so we actually had like, I want to say, while I was living there, we had like 3 different stores. And keep in mind, we're only talking about a city that is, 30,000, 35,000 people. It had 3 stores that were virtually dedicated to Magic cards, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Get that out. We want to get up to the possibility of sweep, so we'll do that first. So, the one store that was kind of like, it was it was well put together and everything, would have like Friday night drafts and then have usually Saturday games and stuff like that. And there was a newer store that opened up. It was a younger group of guys that ran that store. And they were like, 100% magic in this store, which was kind of cool. But the neat thing is, you could go there every night of the week and there'd be a draft going on. So that was kind of something new. We didn't have that in the city before. So it had a big enough player base that they usually had 2 or 3 drafts firing every night. So if you were into Magic and you liked the obviously cards, you could do that. Let's see here. Give us that. We're gonna have to kill this. And we can... I think we're going to do this to try to find land. Or some, or both. And so this new place opened up, and I went there for a pre-release. So this was the very first pre-release there. Now keep in mind that this place was massive. They had a big building with a ton of tables, which by far they had the best area or space because it was basically kind of set up in a warehouse. And it was in a rougher part of town, we'll say. And it's all, you know, I mean, how rough can you really be in that size city? It's not crazy rough by any means. But the crowd is a little different that goes to this versus the other shop, which is a little bit more put together. And let's see what we can do here. We can kill that. I think we got to do this. Black, okay. I hope they can't remove this. We just need to find our sweeper is really what we're looking for. So I went to this pre-release. You know, a lot of people, places packed. I want to say we probably had probably 20 tables with 3 games going on at each. So we're talking about, well, maybe more than that. I think it was 4 games per table. So yeah, quite a few people at this in this pre-release. But at the table I was at, the people, man, we just didn't hit what we needed to, did we? That's... this. So at the table I was at, unlock this. No attacks. Gain life. There's 2 guys that were playing against each other, and they didn't like each other. You could tell that. I don't know if there's beef out of the thing. I don't think there was. But one of the guys was doing something in the game that the other guy did not like, and he's being very vocal about it. And at one point, I turned over, and the guy reached over the table and grabbed the guy's head and slams it against the table, breaking his nose, and there's blood just gushing all over the table. And obviously, this being a newer business, the owner is freaking out because he knows kind of what happens, especially with this being late at night. He is like trying to do everything he can to stop everybody from calling the cops in this situation. So he's like giving the guy a bunch of stuff and trying to smooth out the situation. And oh my god, it was quite the show. We'll put it that way. Let's get the... I'm tempted to just do the capstone. Tablet of Discovery might not be bad either. That's capstone. Get the core down and the discovery. Yeah, unfortunately we can't cast that. We can cast this though. Momo, or we can Decadent. I think we do Momo to get an additional blocker. No attacks, we'll gain 4 life. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, all the typical Magic tropes for people at tournaments kind of hold true in a lot of those situations. It's unfortunate. I will say, even some of the there was only one store that I would have ever brought my wife to. I would have never brought my wife to any of the other ones, which is kind of unfortunate to say. Although I think I would say that for the new one in town, the one I have now, I should say, I would probably bring my wife to. We'll block here. Let's find our sweeper. Come on. Holy moly. We'll discard a card. Probably go after that. And then we can discard this. Cast that. And we can do a virtue. Do a virtue, we can get rid of this one, and we'll pay the one. That out. Sad part is I think we're gonna hit a removal with this. But I think we just get this out just to be a little more safer about it. All right, GG. I'm the one that'll hit you. Don't talk. All right. Well, the guy, from what I could tell, the guy that had his nose broke did not deserve it by any means. He wasn't talking crap. I didn't hear him say any stuff, and I was like, I was 3 feet away from the guy, so I didn't hear him say anything. Yeah, nothing to be gained. Something happened. So in that same city that I lived in at that time, it's a small enough community to the point where a lot of people, and there was a situation that happened where. There's a lot of bar hopping that goes on in that city. And there was a group of people were bar hopping. They were going from bar to bar. And they came upon a guy that was being a little rough with his girlfriend on the street. And the guy stepped in and basically a fight broke out between the two of them, and he ended up punching the guy, and the guy fell over and hit his head on the concrete and actually passed away. And the guy ended up getting jail time for that, which is just crazy in a situation like that. I mean, obviously it's a freak accident. Yes, you got in a fight and stuff, but it was like, holy crap, just from a simple little fist fight, someone goes to prison for a long time, which is insane. Drop this. And a bitter strategic betrayal, maybe? Yeah, let's do that. So that city was interesting. So there's in my state, there's 2 cities that are known for just super wacky things to happen. and that was one of the cities. And I still remember the first day I moved to that city. I actually, this is gonna date me a little bit, but I got a newspaper subscription, and ooh, that's good. Can do pyroclasm, get rid of everything. So the very first day I got the newspaper subscription, the main page headline was "Local band wins jalapeno popper eating contest." That was the main headline, right? That just tells you the size of the city. Yep, story time. And I'm like, oh, this is such a quaint city. And then the next paper I got the next day was no armed man flees from the cops naked. So apparently this guy without arms was completely naked and got called in. Obviously got called in because he was running around on the road. And someone thought he jumped off of a bridge and stuff like that. And it would have been a bridge over the railroad. Well, the cops ended up finding him like on the main section of the city on the road. And he was like jumping on tractor trailers and, weaving through traffic that way, just jumping on them and trying to avoid the cops. And eventually he runs into a pet store. And he locks the door, and he runs to the back. I don't even know how he does this with no hands, but whatever. Runs to the back and tries to hide in the back. When the staff is like, what the heck's going on? They just go to the front door, unlock it, and let the cops in. So he ended up getting arrested, but it's just hilarious. Quantum Riddler. So I will say my favorite story from that city, though, actually happened in my neighborhood. We had I guess you'd call it a prowler in the neighborhood. Essentially, what happened was this guy. Okay, we're gonna just do a deadly cover up here. This guy would check doors in the neighborhood. And if it was unlocked, in the middle of the night, he would come into the house. And keep in mind, he was completely naked when he would do this. He would go up to the bedroom and wake up the female in bed. And when she'd wake up, she would obviously scream. He'd run out of the house. And this happened a handful of times. And the kicker was it happened like all around my house. It happened like one was like kitty corner behind me, a couple doors down from me, a street over from me. A lot of crazy stuff like that. So it was to the point where it made national news. And let's get the Decadent Dragon here. It ended up making national news to the point where The Tonight Show actually had a joke about it on there, which was hilarious. So, we can drop the land. We can get a Springleaf Drum down. Yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll pass the turn. And, yeah, I'm surprised he never got shot, to be honest with you. But just never happened. And so the cops were kind of getting embarrassed by this. And what they started doing was, on all the trees in the street, not all of them, but a lot of them, they were putting up trail cams. And they were trimming all the branches higher so they could see, like, where the person was going. Because clearly the person was local because they couldn't find his clothes or whatever. And no one saw a vehicle leave or anything like that. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Usagi. They never caught me, right? What ended up happening was I was working outside and this car pulls up. And let's see here. We can bitter triumph this, which I think we should do. We'll pay 3 life on that. So the car pulls up and these two guys get out. And they're in suits. And they introduce themselves as detectives. They're actually, researching. Or doing, investigating the thing. And I'm like, oh, Christ. These guys are going to think I'm the one doing it. That's why they're here. So they start asking them questions. And I'm like, oh, what does the guy look like? And they're like, "Oh, he's tall, skinny, and young," and I'm like, "Oh, well, it's not me. We're all good." It was kind of funny. Um, so he was actually asking about the next door neighbor's kid, because they were, I don't know how they got tipped off, or they were thinking it was the neighbor's kid. They were questioning like side entry doors to the house and stuff, and what I've seen and things like that. It wasn't the neighbor's kid. The neighbor's kid was in the military at the time, and he was in basic training while this was going on. So, they just kind of had it in for the neighbor's kid too. So that kind of didn't help out. We can do a pyroclasm here. So I always joked with the wife when we would, lock the door for the night and go to bed. I'd be like, "Oh, you want a visitor tonight? I'll keep it unlocked." It was always the good joke in the house. But from what I heard, the guy didn't hurt anybody. He just merely woke people up, and then that was his thrill, and he left. And it ended up being this went on for about a month and a half to 2 months, and finally he did it again. We want to keep the core up, so we're not going to attack in. It ended up happening again, so everybody's on high alert at this point. And the cops get called. The cops run to the neighborhood right away. Okay, we're going to do a full robbery on him. He's probably got another one, though. Maybe we do a deadly cover-up. Let's do a deadly cover-up. So what ended up happening, so the cops came, and a neighbor 2 streets away, that got woken up by all the sirens and everything. Yeah, we're going to have to sweep this. And she's like, "Well, what's going on?" And she looks out the window, and she sees her son naked in the backyard. And she goes, "It's you!" And she throws him in the car and drives him down to the police station. So he ended up getting busted for it. From the sound of it, he might have had some mental issue. Well, obviously mental issues, but he was like 26, and he had something going on. I don't want him to counter stuff. I'll get rid of his other ang. So it was more entertaining than anything. Kind of crazy to happen all around my house, though. So, the thing to know about that. So this is before doorbell cameras and stuff like that. So nobody had doorbell cameras. But I can almost guarantee the guy checked my door knob to see if it was unlocked, considering he was all around my house. We will pass. There is a seam rip there. My turn. We can get the dragon down. Or we can try for a robbery to see what we can find. What do they got left? I think we do the cord to the dragon. And then we can do a decent sized robbery next turn. Well, and at least the guy even confessed to everything. And here to find out, he went into more people's houses than people were even aware. Apparently, he went into this one elderly woman's house. And when he got to the bedroom, he noticed that she was, he wasn't into old ladies, like really old ladies. So he didn't even bother waking her up. He just left the house. Man, they're kind of going off here. We're only 16 cards into our deck. We need to find a sweeper here. We've already burned through one sweeper. I guess pyroclasms too. Okay, so he can get in with this. Yeah, I'm a little surprised. This was before Castle Doctrine in our state, so we also didn't have concealed carry until after that period of time. So I don't know how many. I mean, don't get me wrong, our state has a lot of people with guns in their house. I am surprised the guy never ended up getting shot, to be honest with you. Jeez, they really pumped that thing up. I think we have to block here. Try to preserve our life a little. Core's not doing it. Three, 4, that leaves us 3 lands. 3. They're all expensive. What a bummer. They got it. Yeah, lock up the house. It is a wild story. But that's that city, man. That city always has like weird stories like that. All right. We'll play one more and then we're going to call it a night. Yeah, I mean, most of the stories from that city were fairly harmless, but always just weird stuff. A lot of bank robberies. Ton of bank robberies in that city. And I didn't realize just how prevalent it was until after. I mean, there was a bad one. Yeah, we'll try this. We had there was a bank that was robbed, and the guy leaves, and a whole bunch of cops come in, obviously. So he got away, and the idiot, for whatever reason, came back to the scene of the crime and ended up in a shootout with State Patrol. And he ended up killing a State Patrol agent. Which is just nuts that, why would you come back to the scene, right? We'll do this, get rid of the otter. So when the newspaper reported on it, you know, they talked about the bank robbery, and keep in mind that this was like, it was either May or June of the year. And they said, oh, this is the 9th time that bank was robbed this year. And I'm like, 9th time? That's one bank in the city. And it was robbed 9 times. It was just kind of crazy. We'll get this out. Can't cast that. We can pyroclasm though. Just keep slowing them down. Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I have to think they just underreport bank robberies in the media, because I was just shocked when I heard that. Play a land. We got enough for Paradigm. No, they do not. No, they do not. They do not take kindly. So, I'll give you another wacky story from that city. We had a person that kind of hold themselves up in like a tower of a building in the city. and I don't know, somebody called the cops or something, saying he had a gun and yada yada yada. Well, the cops come and he started shooting at the cops. So they bring in the SWAT vehicle. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, we can get Ugin down here. Go after that one. They can actually do... Okay. We'll go for one more here so I can finish my story. So he started shooting at the cops. They call in the SWAT team. The city had a SWAT team. The SWAT team had a World War II armored vehicle for their SWAT car or SWAT truck or whatever you want to call it. And as they were driving in, where they were taking on fire and stuff, they were trying to get closer to the building, the engine went out on it. And apparently they had a lot of problems with this vehicle in the past. So there was a big, hubbub about this where the vehicle, when they needed it, failed them. And the city ended up allocating additional money to get a new SWAT vehicle. The problem was it takes a long time to get a custom built SWAT vehicle because these obviously don't just come off of lots by any means. We'll try this. So what they ended up doing was they contracted with this company to get one made, but the company says, hey, we will give you a loaner vehicle, a loaner SWAT vehicle, while yours is being built, and then we'll swap it out when you get the new one. The problem is, this SWAT vehicle is coming off of a movie set. So it has graphics on it from the movie set, and you'll have to swap out the graphics. They're like, okay, so the agreement is, once we get it, we'll swap out the graphics, and then we can go from there. And I ended up driving by the police station when this SWAT vehicle came. Pyroclasm. Get rid of this thing right away. And it was hilarious because you see the SWAT vehicle there, and on the side of the SWAT vehicle, it says Gotham City SWAT. It came off of Batman Begins set, which is hilarious. We'll do red. 2 life, get the core out. It was not Albuquerque. So it was pretty awesome to see the Gotham City SWAT vehicle from the Batman movie and, doing work in the city. And the crazy thing is, so I used to always do drafting on Friday nights. That was our Friday Night Magic. And I used to take different ways home because there was no direct street to my house from one side of the city to the other. So I would go down all these residential streets. And man, over the course of only a couple of years, probably 6 or 7 times I got turned around on these streets because the SWAT team were raiding houses. It's just insane, all the stuff that would go on. We can do tapped here. We can try to remove this. I don't think we're going to be able to be successful, but we'll try it. Yep, shard mages. We really need the sweep here. Man, they pumped them both up. Alright, well, we can kill the one. Man, we are 1 mana short, aren't we? We could have done push, pull, virtue. I guess we couldn't have virtue, could have, because they're both. Let's do virtue here. But that should lower this guy down quite a bit. We can survive one turn. We can kill it. Well, and the funny thing is, the city didn't really have a hood. I mean, it wasn't that it was a bad city by any means. I guess, all these stories kind of tells you it is, but we found it. Now we just got to try to get our Ugin down. Shoot. Guess we can get this down as a blocker. Just hope they don't have shelter. Oh, we misplayed that. We should have done the core first, because then we could have got Ugin down. Although, they're gonna let us go. That's tapped. Get this down. Enter tapped. No attacks. Dealers are the best neighbors. The area of town I lived in was actually, it was actually the nicer part for the city. All things relative when we're talking about that city, let's put it that way. It was considered let's put it this way, that city had the highest unemployment rate in the entire state for a significant amount of years. I think 2004 through 2018, they had the highest unemployment rate. What do we got here? Nothing we want to really take. We do that. If we do Ugin, we can't hit. Let's do Ugin and game life. I know we can't hit them, but still. So it's funny you mentioned the dealers being good neighbors. This actually happened after I moved away, but the neighbor that was 2 doors down, really great guy, awesome person to be around. He had younger kids and stuff. When I say younger, I mean they were teenagers. When I moved out, after I moved out, I found out that the younger kid, after he was 18, he ended up trying to run drugs across state lines and got busted. Apparently he had like 500 pounds worth. And he went to prison for a long time. We'll draw a card. Ooh. Start gaining more life. And then we'll create a creature. We'll just hold off another turn, and then we'll start going in next turn. Oh yeah, 2 core for ward. I missed that. Too busy telling stories. Sorry about that, Isagi. Okay. Just block there. Oh, he's gonna keep it around. That's fine. We'll just do deadly cover up. We already have 3 of those. Let's go after these. Plus, I mean, we're pretty dominant here.
Wise heed my
1, 2, 3. We don't have enough to turn it on. But we're gaining life. Got another sweeper. We'd start grabbing their creatures as well with this. All right, GG. Just yelling at the screen. I tend to make a lot of people do that occasionally, Usagi. All right, double story time. Appreciate you guys watching tonight. Neil, you're the man. Thank you for all of the gifted memberships. So I know the people appreciate it. So thank you very much. Does definitely helps out the channel. Brent seems legit. Usagi, all thanks for chatting. Really appreciate it. Have a great night. I'm not sure when I'll be streaming next. If I don't go to pre-release, maybe next week. Maybe next week Friday. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Have a good one, everybody. We'll catch you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.